Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Good morning. So it's Monday. We are up a little bit from last Friday. Not quite as much as our big fall, but actually, I'm looking at the E-mini. So we're up a little bit, but not as much as this huge move down that we had. But they retraced it a bit. So the market still seems to be a little bit conflicted about what it's going to do here. E-mini is recovering just a little bit. Let's look at the news slate for the week. Since it's like the first real week of March, we should have some pretty good stuff going here. Let's just look for it. Okay. Okay, so yeah, the Italian parliamentary election. That's a thing. PMI. Okay, that's important. Price of manufacturing index, right? Or producer manufacturing index. Level of diffusion index based on surveyed purchasing managers excluding a manufacturing industry. Yeah. Tuesday. Not much. Wednesday. We have non-farm productivity. Bank of Canada makes a read. Oh, beige book on Wednesday. Okay. That's important. Friday. Average hourly earnings. Okay, so not a huge news week, actually. I mean, usually that first week is. So we're gonna have to be cautious here. Expecting range bound here for now. I'm really been sick of these people. I need to do something about the spamming on Discord, but they like just create new users every time. TN. Ultra 10-year. Yeah, there's not as much liquidity in it as there. Yeah. Okay, well, let's post the links. Aha. That might explain a few things. Much better. Okay. Okay, there's that one. And here's this one. Oh, I thought we changed the category to be talk shows. Let's refresh this. Maybe we never updated it. Okay. All right, so people are filtering in. Let's look at our Bitcoin charts. Okay, well, Bitcoin is up a teeny tiny bit. Just doesn't want to go, does it? Bitcoin looks like it went a little bit though. Okay, so it is moving as much as Bitcoin is, according to this. I don't understand why I'm not seeing it really in the chart. I guess on a 24-hour basis we would have been down here, and so now we're here. That's good. I mean, we're still in a good spot for Bitcoin Cash. I'm gonna have to look at where we are on a value basis here in a second. Bitcoin though. So Bitcoin kind of the same thing. Just not quite through, but we could totally make a run for 1200 today. Monday tends to be good days for us. Bitcoins. Ethereum is down. What's with this? Ooh. Ew. Oh, that's Ethereum Bitcoin Cash. Okay. Or Ethereum Bitcoin. What about Ethereum USD? It's also flat. Okay, well, let's run the calculations, shall we? Okay. So it's telling me 89. We're just not pushing a whole lot of volume. I think something that concerns me is especially back on the 27th. So when was that? The 27th. Yeah. Almost no volume that day. And we're just kind of fading off. Keep in mind though, somebody could step in any second and they could do so really quickly. It just takes like one rich guy. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Well, we're already seeing some pretty big prints, so yeah.
Block cell.
Okay, well, Tyler tried selling it, but it was above the VWAP. So when it goes against the VWAP, it doesn't seem to mean the same thing that it usually does. But then the thing was is that they immediately pushed it against him and won. So I don't know. But that was the same spot, the exact same spot that they were hitting these last week. Look, I have two right there. And he did it again at 14.5. So again at 18.5. So let's see what happens. The E-mini looks poised for a fall here. Well, I don't know if I can make a move here with confidence. Right, Dan. You can tell it's a Monday, just one person watching. I mean, we got 3 on Twitch, but it is a little light for a Monday. So, I don't know. We have ebbs and flows, of course. But I don't think that this week is really a solid setup. I mean, you can just see this spot right here. We're right where there was some selling pressure before. So they're fighting it. It's not really getting anywhere. I'm gonna let it go a couple of times because I'm still really skeptical about up moves too. I don't know. Our numbers were down a little bit on Friday, like by the end. It was funny because when it was all kind of like the big question and we didn't know what was going on, there was quite a number of people watching. And then when the move that I was betting on came and I was right, they all disappeared. So I don't know if everybody's still sore about me being right or I'm just kidding. I am suspicious of these up moves though. And Donald Trump has tweeted about steel tariffs again, supporting them. So he's not letting up on this. In case anybody thought maybe they'd talk him out of it or something. It looks like a slow advance of Bitcoin, but it's still advancing. Do you think the bearish trend and bearish season ended? You know, I really can't say. We need a bump up. Oh, where's our chart, by the way? We should make sure that that's on there. So we're in a really good position to jump up to 1200. And if we jumped up to 1200, that would be a higher high. I think that would inspire a lot of confidence and maybe we could see some volume come in, right? But the issue continues to be that there is no volume. People aren't using Bitcoin and it is just completely stagnant now for several weeks. This is the biggest risk that we have, right? That's a really bad sign. But in terms of where prices compared to the volume, we're not exactly like overbought yet. But if we get to move up and we don't get some volume coming into this thing, it's going to be a problem for sure. And this scenario that I've been listing out where we are unable to make a higher high and then a really, really long Bitcoin bear market shows up, I think is a real possibility right now. Still. So can't say for sure, but sure not positive right now. And some of these other ones are kind of just not in the best spots. But let's see what happens today. Oh, by the way, I totally forgot. I don't wanna. You don't want to see this. Where is it? Yes. My Bitcoin tape. I've updated it. Or you're not gonna let me make the screen smaller than that? Boo. Okay, so here's our tape. We're just gonna put this over here somewhere or something like that. And we're gonna put a size filter on it so that only orders larger than 1 Bitcoin show up. That's what we're gonna do. And yeah. I wonder, maybe this will look better in Chrome. Will Chrome let us minimize it? Oh yeah, Chrome's way better for this. Let's close that one. There we go. Size filter 1. Okay, so we'll only see the big orders in Bitcoin. And you can open this on your own machine too. I posted, if you go in Discord, I posted the link in the Bitcoin channel. Here, I'll post it here in the Facebook chat too. So you just download that package and run the index.html and you can get it. I don't know why, but even with the current advance of Bitcoin, I am tilting towards bearish. That's the feeling the market gives me right now. Yeah, well, the market isn't saying to me that people are scared or that they want to move it down or anything like that. It just looks to me like that interest in Bitcoin has disappeared. It is basically all of the everyday people and the business guys that were writing this the way up are gone, as far as I can tell. And if bad news came out, like maybe some Tether stuff again, although I don't know if if Tether information came out again, I wouldn't be as concerned as I was way before. But yeah, it's just, we're in a bad spot. We're in a spot where, a sell could be really nasty, so we got to be careful. Let's make this a little bit smaller so that do this and this. There you go. That should give you what we need to see. Okay, so that's an interesting thought. So Dan said, from a trader's perspective, it's harder to move a value like Bitcoin. Why not try and move something cheaper like Ethereum, for example? They also have some updates coming in March. It seems the right moment. Well, so let's look at this. So if we look, he's saying Bitcoin's too big. Let's move Ethereum. Okay, so I mean, the first thing is Ethereum's not really in a very good spot. In fact, if you look at the Ethereum Bitcoin one that we were looking at earlier, where is it? There it is. On GDAX. Look, Ethereum's going down against Bitcoin. Why? Well, I think there's probably a couple of things going on here. First, I think there seems to be zero appetite out there for anything other than Bitcoin at the moment. It really seems like the Blackstream PR effort is working, and really, Ethereum is their biggest competition. So for Ethereum to not be moving against Bitcoin is really concerning. I also think that you've got some big stuff moving against you in Ethereum, right? Like there's been all of these scams in Ethereum, and the SEC is investigating this. There continues to be hacks. There continues to be security issues. They're still talking about having to make hard forks to get rid of, certain bugs and stuff. Not bugs, but certain hacks. So Ethereum doesn't seem like it's a great place, right? So maybe something else, right? Well, okay. The other big one, I think, is Bitcoin Cash, right? Why not move Bitcoin Cash? Well, kind of seemed to me, if we come back here and look at our charts. Hold on a second. So today is the 5th. Bitcoin Cash. Look at the Bitcoin Cash chart. Okay. Bitcoin Cash has now made a new high in its valuation. Isn't that weird? Look at it. It's just going. It may have some more to go. This might be something like like this. See this little spike right here? Kind of looks similar, doesn't it? So we might be having a pump coming on in Bitcoin Cash. But the thing is that so far, it's not moving. So, like, from my perspective, traders are trying to do that, and they're just not having much success because they're just not big enough. At the moment, there's just not enough of them. That's kind of my read at the moment. That you smelling what I'm stepping in? I think you kind of get this thing like how can I show you? So let's pull this over here first because I want to be able to see when you type. Sorry for all the gross noises I'm making with my mouth. Okay, so Garlic Coin is a great example. Garlic Coin came out. As soon as it started trading, they started trading it at 320, which frankly was ridiculous. Okay, like I have like 200 garlic now. How much do I have? How much garlic do I have? I have 208. I'm mining like 10 to 20 garlic coins a day now. Okay. And if you're a big time miner, you gotta sell to cover your costs, right? So like, who's using garlic coin? Who's doing this? Just miners selling. There's no other reason to have garlic or use it. That's why it's not worth anything. I think that a lot of the coins are in this situation right now. The only people that are really interested in them are the people that were like invested in it. The people that already owned some, or they're mining it, or they develop applications for it. They're just generally interested in the crypto space. And that group of people can't move price up by themselves. They just can't. You can get small little pumps and that's it. And you can see here the price did go up a little bit when they moved their algorithm to Allium, but then everybody realized that that wasn't really the problem. The problem is that there's no reason to use it. So get over price being small. I need to go and write a post. I need to go and write a post on the Garlic Coin subreddit. Now that I'm thinking about it, get used to prices being low. Pain is temporary, Garlic Coin is forever. Why do bad things always happen to good memes? Hey son, what you gonna do? Hide away and count those garlic bitcoins all day? I thought you were going out with your pal cruising on the moon in some fancy space Ferrari or whatever. Oh, I see, Mr. Big Shot Millionaire is too good to talk to his old man now, eh? Oh, and Pepe killed himself. Oh, that's so sad. You see it? He opens the door and Pepe hung himself. You can get, there's Garlic Coin faucets? .01 Garlic Coin, give me a break. How much are you mining per day? What? This guy mines on a virtual server? Why would you? The garlic mining explorer that I use makes it hard for me to see how much I'm making per day. Like, how far down do I have to go to say? And it doesn't tell me how much I had in my account at the time, so it doesn't really tell me. Anyways, Garlic Coin submit a new text voice. Okay, well, my cumulative delta is saying that ZN is selling here. It's much more strong on my one range chart than it is on this one. 0 trades for me calling it a morning. I wonder why my jigsaw chart isn't showing it as strongly. I don't know. Oh, can we get the Seth indicator? Yeah, let me show it to you again. So there it is for Bitcoin. So we're reading like 89 right now. So right now, the oscillator is doing pretty much exactly what I had predicted way back before the big dip. Like back when we were here, I said, well, usually when we go from one side, we go back to the other side. Well, we're going to go back to the other side. So now the question is, does enough volume come in to allow us to push for a new high? And if not, then I still think that this coming short of a new high thing is a real possibility. Yeah. And if it does that, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do. I'll probably move out of my larger altcoins if we start getting above this 100 and I'm not seeing like serious momentum into it. Okay, so a bit of buying just come in there. The E-mini is looking a little bit lower. Anyways, was there one that oh, are you wrecked on SIA? Oh, good question. I haven't looked at the SIA coin yet. Where let's just pull up my portfolio. Yeah. Well, so let me tell you about SIA coin though. SIA coin went up big. Well, how do I show this? This one. Okay, so if we come back here. Okay. So you can see what's been going on here. Let's just show the past 3 months. Okay, so I sold like this day right here. I literally sold on that day. Not kidding. Like I did it and I'm like, I think it's gonna, there's maybe one last little push up, and I sold it, and I almost kind of like messed with my head. I was like, was me selling it enough of a signal for people to not take it? But I only sold like 500 SIA coins. That's not a lot. Anyways, it was like 600 Satoshi was the price that I got. And I had 2,500 and I sold 500 of it. Or no, I sold 1,000 of it. So that I had 1,500 or something like that. And is that, how much do I have? Let's see here. Oh, I can just show you. Like, we can just go through the transactions, right? So I had 2,500. Oh, I did sell some of it. Yes, that's it right there. Oh no, that was February 17th when I bought some. I guess I didn't include my sell in this one. I wasn't using this yet. Anyways, so I sold some of it, but I didn't sell all of it. So of course there's a ton of money that I could have made on SIA, more that I didn't, but we're pretty much, I mean, I mined it all for starters and we're still like above my price basis, and I bought a little bit more. I think we're still up on it. So yeah, has it been doing stuff the past day? Nah, it's just kind of ranging around. Kind of went down, it's kind of ranging around. So on Ccoin, I kind of feel like, we're in an okay spot. You could buy some more, because the trade that I was expecting to happen in Ccoin hasn't played out. It hasn't happened yet. So I still think there could be a move up. I still think you could see $1 Ccoin, actually. And it might not be for a long time though, because the developers aren't really doing anything. Like, whenever you look at the features that are coming out, they're things that are needed and everything, but they're not like the big features that everybody's waiting for. So it could be a long time for Ccoin. But yeah, that's still the one I'm most interested in. Yeah, I got a couple of these that they go up 5% and I make 50 cents. But I wish I could have more in them. And of course the garlic coin. So I have like, how much garlic coin did it say I have? Come back. Oh, that's not what I wanted either. Here it is. Oh, I'm so sorry. This Explorer makes that awful noise. Okay, so let's just say that we have 210 garlic coin, rounded up, because we'll have 210 by the end of the day. Bum, bum, bum. Where is it? Right here. Transactions. Okay, so $25 worth of garlic coin. But what is it worth again? It's garlic coin, 10 cents. So if I'm making about 20, I'm making about $2 a day. So it's about on par, a little bit less than just your average mining. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I mean, this number is going up. See, so here's where I had the garlic coin. Should have sold it. I should have just gotten rid of all of it, and then I probably would have stayed here the whole time. But oh well. It happens. I just mind it, so I'm not like super stressed about it. Bitcoin is about to break out from the long downtrend line. Wow, you only have like 50K, see ya. Wow. Well, I mean, it's cheap, so I could buy more, but I don't wanna. Do you know what one of the problems I'm having right now is that I keep going in and being like, oh, I like this one, and this one is giving me a signal. So like and these are all actually doing okay. So I keep making the Monero. The Monero keeps doing well. um, yeah, you got to FOMO that AGI, right? The Verge is one I put a little bit more into, and I'm liking the Verge. And Verge is one again that seems massively undervalued to me based on the chart. And then Nem, where is it? Nem is another one that's doing that exact same thing. You see it, and I bought it. When did I buy the Nem? It was after the 4th, wasn't it? When was this? Oh, it was the 28th. Oh, perfect. So this is a perfect example. Can I show you guys this? I should brag. I should have bought more. So here's Nem, and it had flatlined, and it had ticked up just a little bit. So I bought some because of this chart, and it's been up pretty big since then. So yeah, but I keep identifying these, and I'm actually close to getting like all top 100 coins. I'm having a little bit of issues with the graph, but like the data is coming in, and it looks like it's got everything that I need, and it's clean data and everything. So I just got to do the thing and make the picture. And I'm afraid that there's going to be even more. So it's like I have all these little things that I want to put into, but then, the bigger ones, the ones that I actually put stuff into, but I should probably buy some more just actual Bitcoin, because I hardly have any actual Bitcoin right now. But like the Bitcoin Cash, I'm down $34 all time on the Bitcoin Cash. Oh, it actually says I'm down on the NIM on all time. Wonder how that is. Oh, maybe because I need to go back further. Yes. Okay, so it was the 28th. Okay. So I bought it back here. So we went a little bit lower and came back up. But it looks really good, guys. It looks like it's gonna turn around. I just bragged about that, and then I realized I was reading the chart wrong. Anyways, that was a good one. So yeah, it's kind of annoying, because how many coins can I realistically be in and keep track of, right? I should put a limit. How many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Basically, I'm in 12. Well, we'll see. Do we have... Oh, we should check on the Bitcoin private thing, huh? Okay, let's see here. Do they have exchanges? Or what are some announcements here? Hard fork is today, blah, blah, blah. Okay, they released the wallet. Fork is finished. Developer donation pool. Bunch of scams going around. We will be the most disruptive crypto of 2018. So I don't know if there's anywhere that trades it yet. Do we even have it on CoinMarketCap? No, we don't. Litecoin Cash. Good grief. Oh, Daddy is listed on here now. I forget what's this one? Is that the? Oh yes, that's the coin that that decentralized web services that was supposedly a scam. Ethereum Cash. Okay, so now there are big block copies of all of the major coins out there. EGI. I haven't heard of that one yet. EGI. Maybe I have heard of that. EGI. Singularity Net. Okay, I really hate it when the ticker is like nothing even close to the name. Okay, well, it does look like it's in a good spot. I mean, here's the problem, Jeffrey. Every chart looks like that right now. I mean, that chart doesn't look too different from the C-Coin chart, you know? Litecoin Cash uses SHA-256. Yeah, I wouldn't be using the Litecoin algorithm right now at all. I mean, that's what Garlic Coin did. They were like, nope, and they moved. So it seems like their Allium algorithm is okay. I think Grow Estel is probably the most fair, but nobody makes money mining Grow Estel, so. Look on KU Coin. KU Coin is where I'm hoping that I will be able to trade Bitcoin private. Of Chronobig iHouse token. And they made a statement that they will that the Bitcoin holders will get their stuff. Anyone will be credited at a 1-to-1 ratio. Yes. Oh, I see what he's saying. Go back. So is it a Bitcoin market, I'm guessing? BGI, yeah. Oh, yes, you're right. Some very, very big. Although that particular one, for it to go up and come back down, is not necessarily... I don't want to read too much into that one. That one at the top and coming down is not good. But the fact that we're getting them at all is good news. I don't know. But it just kind of looks like everything else where nothing's going to happen unless Bitcoin decides to move. Seems like the continuing story. It's frustrating. So now look at our ticker over here. Okay. See how the market only moves in one direction? It's like sell, 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 sell. Buy, 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 buy. If somebody's buying it, that might be somebody accumulating, because look, there's a bunch of big orders. They're all at the exact same price. It started with a 39 Bitcoin buy. That's big. That's a lot of money there, guys. I don't know how common that is. We're just going to have to continue watching this. So I'd encourage you guys, if you haven't, so we talked about this earlier, but I know that there's a bunch of people on the stream now. If you scroll up in the chat, or if you look in the Bitcoin channel on Discord, you can use my ticker tape now. you can go to GitHub. I have the code is all on GitHub, and I uploaded a package, and it's just the HTML file that you download. So you extract the folder somewhere and open it up and run it, and you get this. And we can put a minimum size on it so that we can only see the big orders. And what do you know? Looks pretty useful to me. Look, there was another one, 2 buys, same price. Same price, same size. Same time, in fact, as well. And I'd say they're buying right now. So yeah, I'm liking my ticker tape so far. I want to change it so that, well, the next thing I'm going to add into it, this will be cool. Well, so for starters, I got to fix this so that the dots always line up correctly. But I need to left adjust this, or right adjust this column. I want to make another field right here next to the size that will draw like a line that will show you how big that order is compared to like all other orders. And it'll probably use an exponential scale, but so that when you don't have a filter on it and you see a bunch of orders coming through, your eye will immediately be attracted to the largest ones, and you won't be sitting here going, okay, is this one bigger or smaller than this one? I guess with these it's not so hard, but there's somewhere I'm having to go out how many decimals till I find out which one is bigger. So, okay, so there's a cell came in. Oop, let's fix that. There we go. Kin is back at its ICO price. I have too many coins, man. Well, I mean, I am gonna get another distribution here. I could do stuff, so I don't know. I don't know what I should do with that. I kind of feel like that because I don't have any actual Bitcoin itself right now, that I should probably buy that. So by the time I get the money on there, though, it'll probably be too late. Okay, well, there was 14.5. Am I gonna trade 15? Oh, there's a second steal memo, huh? Senior Kremlin officials intervened to block Mitt Romney as President-elect Trump's choice for Secretary of State. Oh, come on, guys. Am I crazy? Does anybody really believe that Donald Trump was seriously thinking about making Mitt Romney Secretary of State? Come on. Come on. He was messing with him. And you think that the Russians blocked it. Mitt Romney should be the Secretary of State. Okay. Good grief. So dumb. It's so dumb. It's just the dumbest. Okay, wait. Let's see what the r/politics people are saying about it. Okay. Curious to see if this actually galvanizes Romney to have some backbone pushing back against the White House for longer than it takes for Trump to tweet something nice about Mitt. No. Let me tell you something about Mitt Romney, guys. I'm getting way too political, but like nothing's going on. We gotta talk about something, right? Okay, let me tell you something about Mitt Romney, because I'm from Utah. Okay, I grew up LDS. I know the type, and I'm still LDS. But Mitt Romney is the brown nosing appeal to authority guy. Like this is you're talking about somebody that has never rocked the boat in his life. Okay? Why didn't he attack Barack Obama more viciously? Why didn't he try harder back when he was running for president? Because Barack Obama was president and he has too much respect for authority. Right? You're talking about what is there's a word I'm looking for. What's the word when you go along with authority? I can't even remember it. It starts with a C. Anyways, this guy, if he was Secretary of State, he wouldn't be the guy coming in there and going like, "Oh, Donald Trump needs to be stopped," and fighting like Nikki Haley. Like, think about the way that Nikki Haley has done this, right? She's done such a good job because she hits back against the president when he says things that she doesn't like, but she's been doing a good job and she goes along with him when it's good too, right? And I think he likes her. I mean, she's done a great job as UN. I think she should have been Secretary of State because I don't know if Tillerson has really done anything. That's not Mitt Romney. He's not going to do that. Mitt Romney does what his advisors tell him to do. Conformist, that's it. He's a conformist. That's Mitt Romney. He's not going to do that. All of these people saying, oh, maybe Mitt Romney will finally become the person that the Republican Party galvanizes together with the fight against President Trump. No. No way, never. He's a conformist. I'm just shilling my bags because I know they will pump at least 10 times. Well, I know how you feel, Jeffrey, because, like, I'm always sitting here thinking, well, you know, if I become a garlic coin billionaire, you know, and then, you know, what is my family going to say? They're going to be like, what, you knew that there was $1 million money-making opportunity and you didn't tell us? So always make sure that I at least say something to somebody, because I don't want to be accused of, you know, hiding all of my secrets for myself. I know that sounds like the dumbest thing. Like how egotistical can you get that you really think that that's a problem? But I think about it. It concerns me. So I put that out there. Anyways, let's continue reading this. No puppet, you're a puppet. Okay. Big if true. This is the biggest bombshell of the entire scandal so far. Okay, right. So how did Christopher Steele find that out? Because we know that he's been being fed information by Russians. They're not a reliable source. Okay, so this is a rehost. Yeah, so the New Yorker one has more things. Well, the whole sanctions against Russia thing is... I mean, yeah, they do need to be punished for it, but it's not exactly helping foreign policy right now, is it? An unpublished memo. I love how everybody in this thread I'm reading this, and they just buy it. It's like, well, if Steele's memo said that Russia intervened against Mitt Romney becoming Secretary of State, then it must be true. Prove it. There's no proof. You're just assuming. It could be just Russia messing with you for all we know. It's too bad this got buried, blah, 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 blah. No, it's not getting that many upvotes because I don't think anybody buys it. Credible. Wow. Somebody's been killed as a result of the publication of this dossier. That might be true. I mean, he got his information from Russians, so I think that it's probable that some of the things in the dossier were true, ended up panning out. I don't think that he got pissed on by hookers, though. That's just ridiculous. Sanctions, blah, 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 sanctions. Obama stayed silent all through the campaign. He and others in his administration had insisted on playing by the rules and not interfering unduly in the election, to the point that after Trump's victory, some critics accused them of political negligence. The Democrats, far from being engaged in a political conspiracy, had been politically paralyzed by their high-mindedness. Well, I don't know about that. I mean, I remember hearing about it before the end of the election. They were going on and on about a Russian and everything, and everybody was like, prove it. And I don't think that it would have been wise. I think Obama may have been made the right choice there, because when it's mind games, it's kind of like you lose either way. Then they would have just accused Obama of interfering in the election, especially if Hillary had won. See, all these comments are just, oh, Steele is so credible. I don't care. I don't care how credible he is. It doesn't mean that the thing in this memo was true. Oof. Kin used to be super cheap, huh? What's that one again? Oh, I haven't looked at that one. Okay, so what's a coin ICO? Coin for digital services. Yeah, I don't know. My question on these sorts of ICOs is always, how does the coin help that particular product? So like, they've made this skin thing, and it's an ICO. Okay. What could and maybe it's like, we made a chat application and you can use this coin in the chat application to transfer stuff, and that's what's going to give it value. Well, like, why couldn't they have used any other cryptocurrency? And that's why the vast majority of these don't necessarily interest me, because I want to see them doing something with it that is built into the coin that you can do with something else. Like with Sia coin, the way that the Sia coin works. I guess they probably could have used another coin, but you know, the way that Sia coin works with the underlying data hosting makes it different. Steemit, the way that Steemit works, especially because of the way that the staking works and all this and that, you know, is based on how many posts you point. They had to make a new cryptocurrency to do Steemit. And I think that that makes the Steemit more valuable than other cryptocurrency coins. And so I'm much more interested in something that actually does something rather than we had an idea and we just made another coin with it because we thought we could make money on it. You know what I mean? Except for Garlic Coin, because that's exactly what Garlic Coin was. Is they just copy and pasted the Litecoin into it. And, you know, it may never go anywhere. But that one is the power of memes. You have to believe in the power of memes, my friends. If it can get Donald Trump elected, then I think it can make me a millionaire. Why not? Oh, it's the Kick Messenger app. That's right. Okay, so that's a little bit different because Kick is pretty popular outside of the United States. Oh, they have a rewards engine. That's why they needed to make their own coin so they can give them away. Okay. Well, it's not. So if it is, so if it is being made by Kick, why do you think it's so cheap? I would think something like that. Okay, so let's like maybe there's a lot of supply. Oh yeah. Oof. Wow. 756 billion coins already out there. That'll kill you. So I would have to do some calculation. I'd have to do some math to see if that's really that cheap or not. Well, we could compare it by market cap. What's the market cap? 223 million. Ah, so that puts it at 80. Right next to Dent Coin. Biggest scam out there. Or wait, no, which one is Dent? There's one is a scam and one is just kind of I don't care about. I don't know which one is which. Yeah. So I don't know if it's that cheap or not. Well, they really pushed it that 14.5 and came off. I think we could start trading the other side of the VWAP. I really want to see, though, what they do at 12. And the E-mini did test a little bit lower. And since they've opened in the past 10 minutes, we are moving up. Okay. Ah, there's 10 trillion, but only 1 trillion have been released. Oh, and that's nice. The people that bought into the ICO got some extra when it didn't all sell. This could very quickly turn into a sell in treasuries. Yeah, see them hitting that. Yeah, I got you. But you're saying it's gonna go to at least the cent. Like, I guess I could see that. I would have to do more math to sit down and say, okay, what's a comparable coin? What market cap can it actually get to? And then what price would that put it at? That's probably the first thing that I would do. I don't know if there's enough room in my brain to follow another coin. I didn't necessarily want to be in this Bitcoin private thing. I kind of wanted to, the exchanges to have been up and already sold it. But obviously it's not going to happen like that, and I'm going to be in it for a while. So hopefully with the 0.34 that I got, it ends up being worth something, making 2 weeks of mining worth it, because, yeah. You're not selling it until it's in the kick app. I think that's a pretty good trading theory to work off of, for sure. I mean, I wouldn't even necessarily sell it until it's in the kick app, because I would expect, like, once it's in the kick app, for the price to go up and then come back down. But then, like, once people actually start really using it and there's demand for it to take another, like, higher. So I would wait for it to come out on the app and see how it goes a little bit, and then go. AGI is interesting because it will allow narrow AI to exchange information and pay each other for it. I've seen a couple of cryptocurrencies that have talked about things like that. Data sharing. Well, that 115 got weak awful fast. Or 11.5. We should use a proper. It's 11.5. 11.5 got weak fast. But it did not break. Hello, Fatal Outed. Welcome to our stream. How are you doing today? A little bit, maybe like 5-second delay, so. There we go. So they traded through it. Oh, that's why the ticker is AGI. Need to be careful there. I was tempted to say AIG. So when I first started trading, so remember, AIG was the insurance company that sold all of the insurance on the mortgages that was basically crashing the whole stock market, right? And the government bailed them out and basically owned them. And so AIG's stock was worth like literally nothing. And then at some point they came in and everybody realized that AIG actually had way more assets than everybody thought that it did and everything like that. And it like went up big, huge one day. And it's the most scary chart I've ever seen in my life, because it was like this big parabola up, and then this huge downturn, and then an inverse parabola going the other way. And I was trading it that day on paper in Thinkorswim, and I had bought it sold it just before the big push down. And I've never seen a trade like that in my life. Since then, that was the craziest thing I've ever seen, was AIG. So like my brain is immediately thinking AIG, AIG. It's like the same letters, it's just reversed around. AGI. Okay, well they're already pushing down on this where there was some big orders. Curious. And the E-mini has not taken off yet, by the way, too. Just because I don't have that up, but so that you know, the E-mini has not taken off yet. And we have traded that 10 a few times now. Okay, so they're putting up a little bit more. Come on. You can do it, guys. So now they've accumulated enough at 10.5 that I think they could. They're going to have to trade back and forth here a few times. Okay, 2,000 that time. And to stop. ES is so thin these days because of the relatively high VIX. I have it side by side with CL, and ES looks more like CL than CL. Really? So let's pull it up. I know I have it here. I mean, they're putting up like 200 at each level. I don't think you want the E-mini to necessarily be thick, though. Not thick in the way that Treasuries are thick, at least, because you know, each quarter of a point covers such a wide array of stuff. Like, think about, okay, so they took that 10 out fast. Just all at once. But think about it, like a quarter point in the S&P 500. Think about how many stocks are involved in that. And you know what could make it move. Just even a tiny little bit could make it move a quarter of a point. Like all of the stocks that could have a move that could make it move a quarter of a point, you know? So the E-mini is always going to be, you know, move, what's the word? Because obviously it's thick, but it still moves around a lot because of that. So that's why, you know, the E-mini becomes such a good trading instrument, because you kind of get the best of both worlds, right? You get a lot of volatility, but you also get a lot of size, and you can follow the volume. But yeah, there definitely has some liquidity has pulled. What was it? Well, IHT, what would you expect there to be on the DOM? What would make you feel more comfortable? Like 500? Yeah, see the E-mini going up, and the treasuries are flipped around and are looking at pushing lower again. So it seems like it could be E-mini strength that is controlling things right now. Yeah, and just several hundred traded at L level. Well, so that's a good point. You don't see the 1000s as much anymore. Okay, should we just take the 4? You notice they ticked down, and now we're facing the other direction again. Okay, so we're definitely being driven by the E-mini. They pivot there. Maybe just a little bit, but not. It might just range around here for a little bit. It could still go lower. And sure enough. Well, we should have placed this order a lot earlier, and we could have gotten filled. Come on. Overall, some selling here, so I don't like the looks of this. I'm a big buyer of puts at 30.50 on the S&P. Wait, what? Did we ever get there? Oh. That's a long ways off, Jeffrey. Well, there you have it. I don't like what ZF is doing, and it seems like ZF is in charge right now. And it kind of looks like this is going to come all the way back on us. So no point in selling it right now because they're at the very least they're going to bounce back off the VWAP, and so I would still get 115 or 11.5. Okay. Very uncertain at the moment. We're all E-mini traders at the moment. Oh yeah, sorry, I didn't have the bond channel up triangle long at 10.5. That was a long time ago. Okay. Okay, so here's our 4 again. Okay, E-mini making a good bull push here. Hey Dev Pluto. How's it going? Yeah, they're gonna have to push up harder than that to clear the 10. The cumulative delta in ES looks positive though. The buying on that last move up was pretty strong. If they can get above the 2680 level there. We could maybe still get a rip up. Yeah. Okay, so it pulled when they got up to it, but they didn't go through it. They traded through it. This is the worst. Do you have a cumulative delta for Neo? And no, or are you talking about the Sethulator? I don't have the Sethulator yet either. So I do have my tape. And another thing I'm going to add on the tape is cumulative delta. But it will only show you the cumulative delta for as long as you've had it open. So for what use it has, I guess. It'll be useful when you're actively trading, at least. Okay, so they came off of that and went back up to it and threw it pretty easily, so that's good. There was a pivot above us at 82.50. Okay, ... Well, so I'm not. So you're really talking about cumulative delta, because I don't have cumulative delta for any of the cryptocurrencies except for, of course, the Bitcoin futures, which at the moment look kind of neutral to down in cumulative delta. I think that the E-mini could see 2700 today. I still think that the treasuries are going to go down. While the level 2 is much more neutral than it's been, but here's the 5-year down towards the lowest. Ready to double down on a Bitcoin long at 11.3. Yeah, well, where are we at right now? 11.4. They've been trading back and forth at this 11.5. You see this? They've gone back and forth quite a bit, so it kind of feels like right now Bitcoin is in a balance area. Oops. Traded a 50 lot for one tick. What's the probability on that trade? How often do you win on that one? That seems to me to be a trade that you don't necessarily want the market to react off of. Filled in less than a second. Wow. Oh, I see. You put it. You put it. You offered up liquidity and you got filled really quickly. When the log is so there's some news coming up. Yeah, there's news. ISM. Okay, well, I think that I have enough profit that maybe I can justify keeping it. Okay. Curious. Okay, so the number must have just come out and been good. Come on. Oh, 59.5, so better than expected. Slightly better than expected. E-mini awfully volatile here. Okay, well, this is not behaving like something that's going to come down 8 ticks. Suck. Yeah. And the sellers are trying hard in the E-mini. And I don't know why it just ticked up that time. I mean, news was good. We should be moving. Guess it wasn't enough. If trade lasts for more than a few seconds, I get out. Oh. It's not playing through. So, like on this trade, this has definitely gone longer than I would like it to, but I'm still kind of wrangling to see where I should get out, like if it's going to give me 11 or not. Because of where the E-mini is at right now, should be turning. But I never got more than 4 ticks on this. We could be right back down there awfully quick. We need another Trump tweet. Well, all he's going to tweet about is tariffs, and it seems like the market doesn't still conflicted about that. Okay. Fine. I'm going to take it off, and then they're going to push through it. Watch. Okay. If you're at vortex and you let it come all the way back to your entry, you're not a scalper. Well, I think that if it goes 8 ticks and it comes all the way back to your entry, then you're definitely doing something wrong. But I mean, there's different levels of swings that you can take, right? You know, when I trade, you know, you could take this, you could take this, but I don't want to take, you know, like if I'm long here and it does that, I don't want to get out on that one. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, yeah, if I see something, I want to see it go all the way through. And sometimes it just doesn't turn out. And I'm just not very good at realizing what that point is yet, I don't think. This one should go to 08. But it's not making it there. Yeah, it's mostly momentum plays. No, well, I don't even say that, Peach Bum. I think I'm better at momentum plays, but I'm trying to play whatever is in front of me. So I'm okay that I took +1. I wish that it was +2. You know, there was a chance that I could have gotten the 4 on that one. But for me to have gotten the 4, I would have had to have had the order already sitting there. So this is where it's like, okay, it went 4 ticks in my direction, and it looked like maybe it could go through 4 ticks, but then it only cleared it like once and they turned around on it. So now, you know, do I get out right there at 3? I don't know if I would have even gotten 3. So that's where I'm saying I think I could have gotten 2 off of it. I mean, the way that this is going right now, it still makes me want to be short. But it's not really giving me a clear indication. I don't want to get in and be rattled around so much again. But the reason why I say that is, yeah, I'm better at momentum plays, but I don't think that today is a momentum day. I mean, I did think that it could have gotten down to the 8, but even if it got down to the 8, that wouldn't be a trend day or anything. That would just be revisiting some levels that were traded earlier in the session. Yeah. Jeffrey says when you're scalping like that, you need to set your take profit as a limit for that reason. Yeah. So here's the conundrum with that. It does seem like at 4 ticks is a good spot to put it, because it always kind of trades back and forth there at that +4. But it seems like every time I put it in there, it goes through it. You know what I mean? I always regret putting it in there, and then I could have gotten +8. I don't know. I guess when I was doing pretty okay trading the range days in December, I was putting a lot of auto take profit at +4, so, and I think I should be saying it's a range day, so maybe the +4 was good. Or even maybe I should just be a little bit more sensitive about the exits. You know, I think that would be better. I think that it would have been a lot better if I had taken the +3. As soon as I realized it, then I'd taken the +3. Yeah, you got to take what the market gives you. That's true. I think maybe, I mean, I definitely have a longer term bias short, so that might be messing with me a little bit. And I just don't like it when it's the E-mini is in control right now. Ugh. It kind of looks like the E-mini is going to break a new low of the session, though. Definitely. And now they're going to touch the other side of the view up now. Yes, they just did. But, well, liquidity is a magnet. Well, that's why I kind of thought it was going to go down to that 08. I don't know, you might be right. It might try and go back up to that 14.5. Revisit that 14.5 again. Kind of looks like somebody got to put an order up there. I think that the thing that would help me more, though, is just being a little bit quicker on the exit. It seems like I'm tend to anticipate it when I'm entering, but then I have a tendency to want to let my winners ride, you know, and so that's why it's like, okay, I got 4 ticks. Well, now that was interesting. I think that what makes one-lot trading so difficult, when you hit your target, you can't sit and wonder, what if I held on? Well, yeah. No, I mean, I think you have to look at if it hit your target or not, because the thing is being able to judge how much momentum there are and which targets actually have a good probability of being hit and which ones don't. Scaling out is not a good thing either. I go all in and all out. You only trade one lot though, yeah. Well, yeah, but scaling in and out is like a risk management problem, right? You're trying to reduce your risk, but yeah, of course you can make less money. You're trying to spread out the risk by spreading it out over time. But I don't think that it's a great strategy for scalpers. But I would say the way I would do it is like look at the way that Futures Trader 71 does it, because what he'll do is he'll take one, and he knows that it could move against him, and he has kind of like a hard stop somewhere. But then, okay, so this is clearly not working for us. Yeah. Anyways, he will. What he does is it'll go against him, but then he'll take another order and scalp it, and so he's kind of making that profit back, and that allows him to move his break-even point or his stop further and further away, so that he has a higher and higher probability of getting out of the trade on a profit. And that's why he does it that way. Yeah. And out on targets, which is brilliant. Yeah, so I think the way that he does it is good. But the way that I would be doing it here in Treasuries with like 1 or 2 contracts, I don't think that would. Sometimes I'll try and take one tickers with a second contract, but I haven't been really practicing that too much lately, because when I start trading with my live account here in maybe 2 weeks from now, I'm not going to be trading 2 contracts, so trying not to develop a bad habit. Well, it looks pretty balanced here at 12. Very nice tick down. I think they should try and take it again, especially since it looks like the E-mini is going to make a bull push again. Come on, E-mini. Get your act together. It's so disciplined on the paper trades, right? Well, we'll see what happens when we go live here. I'm sure that it's going to be a struggle at first. I don't know. Are you joking, or do you really think that it's good? Oh, sorry about the background noise. So lately, especially past 2 weeks, I feel like I've let way too many losers go to -4, and we need to stop that. Oh, thank you. I think I personally think that my discipline is okay, but I can tilt. Yeah. And get out of losers quickly. So this still isn't attacking this other one, and the E-mini is ranging back and forth. Maybe I should just take the -1. We're gonna let it tick down one more time. Yeah. Well, okay, gosh dang it. See, so that's one where, like, if I had put the order in there to get out, it still wouldn't have gone through anyways. And that's the thing, is what kills me is when I'll lose like 3 or 4 times in a row. Tilting. And that's gonna be that's gonna be the bigger risk, for sure. Ugh. Okay. And I'm not quite sure why I do that, but yeah, just be patient. The market almost always retests levels. Well, I think that the E-mini is going to come up above the VWAP here. The problem, though, is that it seems to me like we're higher than we were when I took that. And we're higher in treasuries, so I feel like maybe the correlation is breaking down. And the cumulative delta is mostly flat. So there's not really a trade here anymore. Not a whole lot of interest, though. You know, it's kind of odd to see so little interest at the VWAP. Let's move this back over here. Wow, you want it to go all the way to 2750, huh? See, I was just remarking, well, I think we could make it to 2700 today in the evening. it's the blender. Yeah, sorry about that. So here's another problem I have. Well, this one is not quite so much a concern, but I've noticed that I will tend to take a position and it'll go about 2 ticks against me before finally going, and then I get a good winner off of it. So obviously I'm getting into some trades early, but if there's still winners, it's okay. But so that's another Square breaking out. What's the ticker symbol for Square again? I kind of want to get rid of this thumb here. It's kind of driving me crazy. I think that Bitcoin could hit 1200 today. I mean, that's really what I want to see, because it's just been sitting here for too long, and this is a great opportunity for it to go up and take it. Oh, you're looking for the weekly pivot. Well, I don't expect it to go too far. I mean, we are kind of in a... Okay, so you're talking about the stock. I gotcha. He's talking about Square. Oh yeah, now you guys, when you're watching it on replay, you can see the comments in the YouTube anyways. So I don't even necessarily have to read it back to you. I forgot about that. Okay, well, we are getting some down volume in ZF. I think for the most part, your entries are pretty good. I think that my entries are good enough that I tend to carry very little risk when we are... I don't have a whole lot of adverse ticks when we're trending, but it's not efficient enough that when we're in a range bound market that I'm able to keep my win rate up. Yeah, you can't do anything about some big player that pushes in against you after your entry. Yeah, that's kind of how it looks. Like there's... Especially on a range bound day. I mean, this is the thing that kills me though, is that it's a range bound day. When I took that one, remember when I took this trade that we're in right now, I sold 110 because when we ticked it down from 12 to 11.5, I'm so sorry about the background noise. I hope that's not hurting your ears. When we ticked down, it was a pretty strong tick, and now 110 went weak really quickly, and that's why I took it. And then it only went like one tick down, and it didn't do it. Yeah, the way you are trading, you should only be trading range-bound markets. Okay. I don't know. It works a lot better for the trend days. I'm just so much better on the trend days. I mean, it hasn't always been that way. When it was December, I was able to work the magic somehow. Back in December, and I was able to pull a few ticks out every day, despite some of the biggest mistakes. So, but then we got into this trending market business, and I think that kind of messed up my calibration, you know? Yeah. And so I'm back into this mode where I always think that it's about to break out, you know? When it's not. So this is range bound enough that when we sold down there, that was a really, really good sell signal. A really, really good sell signal, and it reversed right there. Come on, that ZF looks weak. Range days are just really difficult in general. Lots of games played on level 2, people just trying to trick each other, then get that stop flow. Yeah, and it's more competitive. The range days are more competitive because there's less opportunity on a range day, right? So you have to be better. And this just kind of puts us in perspective of how good we are, right? We're doing okay. We've been profitable 3 months in Sim, but we're not the top 10% or anything. When you're only looking for a few ticks, why would you try to trade a breakout when you can just buy support and sell resistance? Well, so one, I think that Jeffrey, for me, has a lot more to do with where I get in at in the first place, because I very, very rarely do I actually buy support and sell resistance, because I look at those areas as I don't know what's going to happen, right? I would much prefer to buy it at the VWAP, see it get to resistance, wait to see if it goes through, and then if it doesn't, take it off. That's how I tend to do it. And the problem is that I just realize that it's not going to go through until it's too late. And when that difference is only like 4 ticks, well then, what are you going to do, right? Yeah, support and resistance are just reaction areas. Yeah. But that's the thing, is you can go in and you can say, okay, if we bought it and there's momentum, there's a pretty good chance that it's going to make it to that point, like this 14.5. If we do start trading above the VWAP, there's a pretty good chance that we'll go up to that 14.5. But what are the chances that we're going to trade 15.5? 50-50. So especially on a range bound day, I probably should take it. Now, the other way down, I think there is a probability that they fall apart. But they haven't done it yet, and if they don't just really start, you know, what is the word? If they don't really start careening down here, then obviously I would take a profit on this if I'm able to get a profit on this. Like if it's not like super strong momentum ticks down to 10, then I think I should take 10. In fact, I suppose we could put an order in there. How many times on the 15-minute candles do levels get retested? Yeah. I don't know. I don't look at it like that just because I'm only looking at the order flow. When we traded that last turn down, where did it go to? Oh, it did go to 09.5. They didn't trade 09. So that's something else I find weird is how come they didn't test the 09? There's like a step in the profile there. The way I trade it by the bottom and hold for breakout, but I am looking for 10% moves. See, anytime if I had tried and bought that 09 half, every time that I try doing that, it goes against me. So anytime that I try and play a mean reversion play, it trends against me. So let me put this in a different way, or think about this in a different way. Look at there's all these kinds of statistics that you could do based on volume profile, like what is the probability that it touches the previous day's volume point of control? For instance, what is the percentage of the times that it breaks the overnight high, overnight low, etc., 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 right? And if you do all of these stats on treasuries, what you will find is that more often than not, treasuries tend to trend. They do. It's just that they revisit things a lot as they do it, right? Like look at these, right? Move down, 4 ticks back up. Move down, a few ticks back up. They very much this is a zigzaggy pattern. They tend to do that more often than not, right? So yeah, sometimes you get these areas where it just doesn't want to go anywhere, like today, or like last Monday. What was last Monday? The 26th. So this day right here. Yeah, it was really range bound until after. Even then, it didn't really go very high. But you'll make more money overall if you catch the trends in treasuries. I think that if you're really good at the mean revision trades, like you guys are talking about, that you probably do better with like the E-mini. Although the E-mini is a meat grinder right now. Or it has been as of late with the low volatility and stuff. Okay, so it traded through it and they kind of pushed against it. So I'm just going to take my +2 if it can give it to me. Maybe even just +1. I'm going to let them trade through it again. So I think that they'll do that. At that time there was some buying in ZF. Fact. Maybe I should have moved it up because I could have gotten the +1. They'll trade back down. There's still a good chance they'll trade back down at least. ES is a sausage party today. Well, it has been like back and forth a lot, hasn't it? It's crossed this VWAP way too many times, that's for sure. That's not my favorite kind of action. You can do it, come on. Oh. Okay, so it went weak, but not a whole lot traded there. And I'm still seeing some fighting here in ZF, so I'm just going to take the 1. Come on, there we go. Good deal. Well, if I can come out of this with 2 one-tick winners, I guess that's okay. So, would it have given us +2? So I guess another thing to keep in mind was that our first one was at 120, or was at 12, right? Was at 12. We could have been getting our +4 right there. So I think that was a case of we missed our first entry and then we just weren't patient enough when it kept going. But that was a real bubble down, so it wasn't necessarily the best action doing it. Ugh, look at that, very weak. But you see what I'm saying now, where I'm saying, like, as soon as I get filled, that's when it actually finally starts doing its thing. Like, I got filled, didn't look too sure, and now all of a sudden we got the other tick down. And I could have been +3 right now. Sometimes you just can't win. They're not really falling apart though, are they? This square. Yeah, I don't see it. I don't really look at the stocks anymore, so. Except for the index, of course. Well, the E-mini is on a tear now. They really just kind of took off out of nowhere, didn't they? Kind of missed that. Well, if it came back to 110, I could sell it. Not sure I want to sell 09.5 though. Yeah. Especially since we've bounced off here in ZF many times. So it'd have to be 037 is the bottom. I prefer your trading over the rest of YouTubers blindly placing limit orders at trend lines. So are there a lot of other people actually putting live trading on YouTube? I don't know. I have to agree. I don't like the chart trading. The thing, here's what I would want to see from the chart traders is like, I mean, I don't watch these people, so I don't know if anybody's doing it, but I would want them to show you what they had done for the day and what they had done for the past month or whatever to see how far, how much of an edge they actually have in that. Oh, order books are for plebs, huh? So have I told you why I started using the order book? I used to work for Goldman Sachs, and there was this application. It's called Ready. I think they split it off, so hedge funds can still use Ready, and they have a DOM, It's kind of like this DOM, but it has a couple of extra features, and one of them is that if you hold the shift key, any action that you place on the DOM will not happen until you let go of that shift macro key. So what you can do, and they have the same things that Jigsaw does, where it's like auto pull and auto fill sort of thing. And so what they'll do is it'll automatically put a certain amount of liquidity at every level. And then they can sit down and they can say, okay, what I want to do is I want to buy everything at 09.5, and then I want to add 1,000 on top of it. They hold shift and they do those things, and then they let go and it'll go through. And, you know, they knew that I wanted to be a trader, and that's this lady. They were having problems with Ready, and there was nobody else around. Like, the support people weren't around, but I used to sit next to them. So I kind of looked at him and tried to figure it out. And of course, there was an actual bug in it, but so I wasn't able to help. But this girl, she showed me like how they did it, and she's like, yeah, if you really want to trade, just find a good DOM and just watch it and trade treasuries. So that's what I did. And I went and I found a course that was about it, and it happened to be the No BS day trading course, and that's why I do it. So maybe it is for plebs, but it's the institutions use the order flow too, right? Now they have an advantage because they also get to see the order flow from their incoming clients, which makes a big difference. But I think that you're trading order flow, you have a big step up on people that are just looking at chart patterns. Okay, well, I'm really glad that I didn't just blindly sell 09.5s. Not to mention news before everyone else, huh? Yeah, I don't know how they do that one. They I joke, but sometimes I really think they do. Well, you can get wrecked trading the order book for sure. I don't know. I think that my trading strategy is relatively simple. I don't even necessarily see all of the trades that John in his No BS day trading course has. The lure is the one that I look for the most. You know, and I hit a little bit below 50%. So I'd have to say that in treasuries, there is still some reasonable edge in it. It's not a huge edge. You're going to get eaten up by commissions, but it's still there. Charts predict news. No, they don't. So I'll give you an example of how charts don't predict news. Let's see if we can find one here. Okay. This one right here, okay, on March 1st, did the chart predict that Donald Trump was going to say something about tariffs? I mean, the funny thing is the news was already out there that they were talking about it. That's the funny thing about it, is that it had been going on for weeks, and they were saying, oh, we might do it. They're trying to talk him out of it. Okay, did the chart predict that? No. It was like the chart didn't have a clue what was going on until it happened, because they were more concerned with all of the stuff that the Federal Reserve had said. Donald Trump is the black swan. Yeah, exactly. Here, let's look at it a little bit further out, right? And then there was the, you know, this one right here, this drop off. Yeah, that's probably not a good example. Almost every single one of these trend days, I feel like, just kind of come out of nowhere. My good friend was long on US Steel options and made a ton. Yeah, there was a lot of people. You could have been savvy enough to have seen that one coming, but that was because it wasn't just a cold news event. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I have a better example. If we can go back far enough, yes, we can. We can. Where was it? I think it was this day right here. Was it in May? There was a couple of them, but like a really good example of, like news out of nowhere was like when North Korea got nuclear missiles, right? There was like no warning. It just came out of nowhere and we had like huge updates from it. This top right here, that was North Korea news. I don't remember which day, but it was one of these days around here. And when we had this day right here where it gapped down, I said on that day, if you go back on my Facebook, I said this might be the lowest you ever see interest rates for the rest of your life. And I don't know, I was right so far. But that was a pretty big prediction. We're gonna kind of have to wait till the rest of our lives to see if I was right. But there were hints, but that chart looks good at the double bottom on that chart. Okay, so here's the other argument. So first of all, there are things that the chart doesn't see that the market doesn't see, right? Oh, we did trade down, by the way, while I was yapping. I wasn't going to take that one, and especially not when they're absorbing 6. I might just be done for the day. I think I let you guys talk me out of holding something. Didn't it? Because I should have just held it. Shouldn't I? I would have had 2 ticks against me, and I would have gotten... I think we're at 6 right now, right? No, 08 was going to be... Yeah, 4. I would have gotten 8 ticks on one trade, guys. What the heck? I should have just left it on. No, it was a good idea to take it off because this is not trending action. That is range bound. It was a good idea to take it off, but this second one I shouldn't have taken off. This one I should have let ride. Because I took it off exactly when the momentum started to pick up. Because you can't predict that, but oh well. Did you say to hold? I don't recall. I just remember looking there and being like, oh, this has gone against me. This is really range bound. I should probably just take the 1 tick if I can get it. Well, so now we need to do a little bit of analysis here. So there was 07.5 was a pivot. Okay. And then there's the low of the day. Oh, no, it wasn't 07.5, it was 07. And then there's a tick below that. And in ZN, when we look at this one, okay, there's the 07 right there too. And then single prints. So there could still be some more downside. So I think that I'm going to wait a little bit and just see how it turns out. Anyways, so the next thing is that I would say, what is it that you can see in the chart that you can't see on the DOM? They're really the same thing. It's just the chart just is a better view of what happened in the past. And the DOM is a better view of what's happening right now. And like all of these, typical chart patterns like head and shoulders and double tops and stuff, I feel like that those are really just order flow patterns. It drives me nuts when I see somebody say, well, chart patterns don't work, but order flow patterns do. But I mean, there could be like the same thing. Oh, well, okay, so I posted a Reddit link in the Discord from an experienced Bitcoin trader note that in his pleb days, he looked at order books. Yeah, I wouldn't trade off of the order book in Bitcoin. My observation from the order books in Bitcoin is that they just don't matter. because those markets are so one-sided. They are not thick like treasuries. They're not something where you're going to see thousands and thousands of contracts and price just hold. You just can't predict that in Bitcoin. In Bitcoin, that market is driven so much by market orders that what you see on the level 2 just doesn't matter. And the number that you see come through just doesn't matter. It just depends on who's trading that day. Bitcoin liquidity is like 1 deep at a level. Yeah, but it's not anything compared to what you see in treasuries. Like if it's like 1 deep at a level, that's like 8,000, right? But we have 5,000 contracts times 500. You're talking about 5 million at each level here in treasuries. So they're like orders of magnitude different. That's why this kind of order flow trading don't work in Bitcoin. No, for sure. But it's still useful, primarily because, again, it just all tends to be one-sided. Like, look at this tape. Let's make this tape really big. Right? It's very rare that it goes back, like we see it go back and forth. Like this one would be blue, orange, blue, orange, blue, orange. It never happens. There's like a strong buying, strong selling, just a little bit of a pullback, strong selling, buying, pullback. It's just kind of ranging here. But so those market orders really matter. So when you look at like the futures and you see like the cumulative delta, oops. Or if we could see cumulative delta on actual Bitcoin, they could do it, but for some reason nobody has a chart. There's some serious edge in that for sure. If you look at it over a long enough period of time, probably not too great for a scalp. Technicals do work. As people get stopped out, it's great order flow. Well, you knew that. Well, were you basing the square off of the chart? So it sounded to me like that your fundamental reasons for it probably gave it a better probability than the technicals. I think that what I do is I tend to have a longer term bias, and then I wait for that bias to be played out in the patterns in the order flow. Yeah, so Jeffrey says everyone is so mean by their education telling them technicals don't work. Well, here's the thing. Technicals can work. The question is, does this particular pattern work in this particular market and this particular market conditions? And you have to do the research and back test it and stuff to show that that setup has a probability or not. Right? So it's kind of useless for us to get as general as technicals work or don't work. Like, let's get it more specific. Does this specific technical work? Does this specific technical work? So I'll tell you something that I feel pretty confident in saying, although I'm not back testing it. But in this particular market, when you see a head and shoulders on like the 1 minute chart in the E-mini, works pretty good. As long as you see the accelerating sell volume on the right shoulder, it works really, really well. And those almost always fill their targets. So I think that that's a particular technical that I think has some edge. But see, I'm making it really narrow. I'm saying this is a specific pattern, and I'm saying it's only been in this particular market regime. And even with the pattern, you have to have certain characteristics, right? So yeah, that guy went through millions of different patterns and has backed it up with stats. And he does it. Yeah, are you talking about the one that you posted in the stats channel? Oh, or is that something else? So somebody posted this in the stats channel. Let me just show you this. Right? How often are IBA range extensions broken in the E-mini? And he shows, look at that, 60%. %60 chance that the initial balance is going to be broken in the E-mini. That's edge. But you notice he's specific to a specific instrument. So that's one thing that drives me nuts is when you see people, they have these stats that are like, this thing works this time. You're going to have to see if it's that particular market does it. Or I'm not going to trade off of it. Oh, and yeah, I think Beach Bum, I think you may have seen the one that you're talking about. Yeah, you have to see stats. XIV is no more. Yeah, but how many times? So here's another one. Can I show you this? This is my favorite. I don't know if I'm going to take any more trades because I just don't want to take it in this spot. I feel like I already missed my opportunity. I already cocked it up. Okay. So we need to look at it on a daily basis. And go back to Treasuries. But really what we're interested in here is the E-mini. Okay. So how about this spot right here? Oops, where'd it go? This spot right here. Okay. So here we go. Here's a head and shoulders pattern, right? New high, lots of chaos. So right here, fell apart, new low. Okay. Let me pull you guys back. Let's move this out here so that I can see you guys chat. Okay, so here's the question. Were you guys watching markets back when this happened? And if you did, do you remember what people were saying the technicals said about the markets right now at that particular time? Because I tell you, I remember a lot of people saying double dip recession. Yeah. It was like, oh, if this 1032, 1040 breaks, it's going to be super, super bad. I can't tell you how much. There was so many people at that time saying that. And what happened? Really took off. And I mean, that one really took off. Okay. Wait, it's going to do it again. Oh, look. Panic. This one was the Euro crisis, I think, right? But the Euro crisis is happening. Look, we made a lower low. This was like a, people, this right here was really concerning, and they were saying, we might get a double dip recession. Everybody's panicking. Now I'll point out, whenever you get this kind of volatility like that, where you have candles that long, it's usually a bottom. That's another edge you can take to the bank. When daily chart has that much volatility, it's usually a bottom. Whoop. Look at how much higher it went. It really took off in 2013. 2014 was okay. Here, this one again. People thought there was a lower. Some people sold off there. Oh, look, you can see Bitcoin now. Really took off. So now this one, I would have to agree that at the time, so if we can kind of move this back a little bit. Oh, it's showing me ZN the stock and not ZN the future. Okay. So when we were right here, I think that maybe there was some indications that we were going to burn out, I guess. But do you think that that's the high of the year? Because I'm willing to bet that it's not. Is just generally not wise to short the S&P. It basically means you're going against the Fed and the expansion of the US economy and against inflation. Yep. No, I would say that there's a 60% chance that we'll make a higher high this year, although it may not happen until like October. Why? Because when you get candles like this, it's usually a bottom. So that's how I look at it. Okay, how much was in this bubble? 5K? Yeah. Probably wasn't worth taking. I had the right entry when I took 110 and it went against me, and when it was in my favor, I should have just left it alone because the momentum was on my side at that time. So let's remember that one. Don't want to take something off when the momentum's on your side unless it's hitting your target. I kind of think it's the high of the year, but if it goes higher, I will go heavy into puts at 30.50. 30.50, where would that be? Oops, let's look way back. Oh, well, yeah. Well, it would be take a long time for us to get there. I really can't talk about what it's going to be. Anyways, I don't know. I do feel like just watching the daily chart on the E-mini that I've gotten a pretty good feel for when we're going to come off and that sort of a thing, but I'm not so sure that my edge on it would be that great. It was the top one I shorted it. Yeah, but that's like one time. I don't know. That's the thing with the E-mini. When I look at like significant trades that I've made in the E-mini, I think I caught, when was it? It was way back here. So I caught this one. I said, when this day happened, this day right here, I said, uh-oh, something's up. Should short it. Well, not should short it, but you should get out. And I was right on that one. But like, and then I kind of said that you should buy this. So those are maybe like 2 trades in a year that I've made. You know, like how can you really say what the edge is on that? Versus when I trade treasuries, sometimes I'll take 10 trades in a day. I'm trying to keep it to 4, but like 4 trades in a day, every day, you know? And I can look at that and I can see my stats. Yeah, let's look at my stats. Since I don't think we're going to be taking any more trades here because the 2 ticks of risk is not worth it right there. If I can. So I have to fix, because I can only want to show ZN. Oop, and we have to show like the whole time that we've been trading ZN too. I'm going to to show it to the end of March. Apply. Yes, okay. So there's the stats. So it says overall I've made 1703, but then when you count in the commissions, it's like $900 less than that. So, okay. But, so that's not necessarily good, but what's the win rate? 48.3? It's not bad, right? And the winners are a little bit better than the losers. And we know that there's some inefficiencies and that I just need to get a little bit better, right? So there could be more than that. We can reduce our losers a little bit. We can increase our winners a little bit. We can increase our win percentage a little bit. I really think I can get that to 52% again. Right? So I know that this works. At least in this market, these market conditions, this works. And wait, how many trades was that? 3 over 315 trades. Be right 48% of the time. Huh? Not to brag, that's on sim, right? Let's keep in mind that's on sim, but I mean that's edge. That's the sort of thing that I think that you have to be able to show somebody to be able to say if a strategy works or not. The square not in the S&P? Oh, there you go. Well, now they're starting to test below the 7.5. I don't know. Look at this. Look at this chart. Make it big. I shouldn't kick myself too much. Because right here, when I took it off, and I took the +1, look, I went short at 110, and I took that right there. And it came down and back, okay? So at this particular point right here, could I have known that it was going to keep going? The only indication that I see is that we're under the VWAP. And that we were, oh, I guess I probably should have looked at my MACD here because the MACD was saying that we were flipping. If the S&P dies, it will pull everything down, including Square and cryptos. I agree. If the S&P dies, I don't think that that's good for Bitcoin. Because you got to remember that Bitcoin, I mean, I know that nobody believes me or agrees with me, but Bitcoin is not a flight to safety trade. Never has been. Let's go back and look. I have too many windows open. I'm having a hard time keeping track of it. Okay, here we go. So here's the window that I need. S&P Bitcoin flipping, it's coming, right? Okay, so oh, why is it doing this? There we go. Okay. No thanks. But we'll make it big. Okay. So here's Bitcoin. Here's Bitcoin. So let's look. Let's try and find a place where the S&P 500 looks ugly and Bitcoin is going up. So it definitely wasn't this time period right here, was it? No, no, no. Okay, so here is what, the election? Well, we need to move this a little bit up. Okay, so we had a little bit of a blip. $20 before the election. And I don't even know if that one is correlated. Okay. Let's come over here. This one. I'm not too sure if we can count that one or not. I don't know what to make of that one. Maybe. Okay. Here's a really big spike in Bitcoin. Is it going along with the E-mini? No. Okay, so when was this? This was October 2015? Okay, so here, October 2015, the earliest one that we can look at. The E-mini is going down, and what is Bitcoin doing? It's going down. The E-mini is going down. Here on this particular day, there was a down day in it. This one, it's unclear, so maybe we can say that they acted as a flight to safety before the thing happened. I don't know. Here during the election, it doesn't look like it did. Okay. So like, just looking at since 2015, Bitcoin has yet, doesn't mean it couldn't be in the future, but it has yet to ever act as a flight to safety. So I have to say, if the S&P 500 really fell apart, and I mean really, and to say like really fell apart, I'd have to say that like we went below 2,500 and below 2,400. That to me would be like, okay, maybe there actually has been a top this year. If we came back down to 2,500 and turned around, I would just be like, great, great. Sell in May, go away. We're going to come back in October. We're going to be higher. Below 2,400, then I start to rethink that. So if this goes down, this is not going to go up to 50,000. No way. No way, in my opinion, because they're not correlated like that. If Bitcoin makes it to 50,000, it's going to have nothing to do with the S&P. I don't think that the S&P 500 looks ugly. I think that, like I said, when you get big candles like this, volatility, big range, volatility, both directions. You have big down days, big up days, big down days, lots of wicks. Bottom. That's a bottom. They may make a slightly lower low, but then you'll get just more volatility. Because these sorts of things can go on for a month or two. Yeah, IHA says I think that was a really good bottom on the S&P 500. I think so. I mean, I think for having had the run that it did, I mean, seriously, last year, look at that. That's just the year. To have had a 10%, what is essentially a 10% pullback? Pretty healthy, right? So I think the S&P 500 looks just fine. Well, man, it really went. So I said it could go to 07 halves, and I don't know if it would test the low of the day. And there it is, testing the low of the day. And it hasn't taken any steps back up there where I would feel more comfortable taking it. But it looks like I was wrong about this being a super range-bound day. It was not. Okay. Although I'm a little weary about it going through the low of the day. So I think if I had still been right, still been in, and had taken the 12 ticks. Oh my gosh, guys. 12 ticks. That I should be taking it off right now. Yeah. Ishimoku. Oh man, I don't even. I can't even read the Ishimoku. It doesn't look like anything to me. Yeah. Well, IHT, you've got a really good point that one of the things that has been driving this crazy, ridiculous rally in the S&P 500 is that people keep selling it. I don't understand this logic. So let me try and explain this one to you, and then I think we're going to quit because I feel bad enough that I missed that one. Okay. Today's lesson. Trust yourself. Don't get out when the momentum is in your direction unless you're hitting a target. So here's the thing. This market rally has been driven a lot by monetary policy, right? Am I right? So like when you go to zero hedge, what are they talking about? They're most concerned about monetary policy and that like we're building up a huge debt and that eventually this is all going to break down and things like that. And so I think that what happens is people say, okay, this thing is happening and I don't like it, and I think that it's going to blow up in their face. Ergo, I should short the S&P 500. Is that so? So would you agree that some people trade off of that thesis, and they've lost many times now? Like they've gotten stopped out of their shorts and the E-mini goes higher and goes against them. So my suggestion is, why would you take that particular trade in that particular direction? Because when I see that, what I see is, okay, the Federal Reserve is doing something and I don't necessarily agree with it, and I think that it's eventually going to blow up in their face. But the first thing that I say is I should go with it. Every single time. Because for it to be a bad thing, that's going to have to go with it for a while. Like if they immediately fought it, like if we go way back to 2010 or whatever it was, when QE started, you know, if they had started QE and the market started going down like some people thought was going to happen, then it wasn't going to work out, and then it would just flip anyways. So like in order for it to be like a bad thing, it would have to go up based off of what the Federal Reserve was doing first. So why go against it? So this is the exact same thing here with the tariff. So Donald Trump has implemented a tariff. Tariffs tend not to work. I don't like it, and I want to trade off of it. Okay. Which way would you trade? And I think that the people that don't like the tariff, you know, a lot of liberal people out there are saying that the E-mini is going to go down. Well, I would say that in order for the E-mini to go down, that his tariff thing kind of has to play out and has to fail hard. So where would you do it? How would you play that? By going with it instead of fighting it, because fighting his decision is shorting the E-mini. Going with his decision, shorting treasuries, right? Because he's implementing a tariff. The tariff is intended to make prices go up. That's inflation. That means the treasuries are going to go down. And the 2 days since that has happened, we've been down in treasuries, haven't we? I mean, there was the first day, but since when the news broke, when I wasn't trading, but the 2 days since then, what's happened? It's gone down. So I would always, when you see something like that, I say, that's like free money. Just go with it. No, but Jeffrey, the thing that they're saying is that they don't necessarily care how much money a particular trade made, because one trade cannot show edge. We would, in order to sit down and say that that where you're saying you look at stochastics, right? I think that's what you were saying earlier. You know, stochastics and Nishimoku cloud and all of these other things together. You know, I would need to see that and 20 trades on top of each other, assuming that those 20 trades are all the 20 trades that you took during that period and not just the other ones, and show that overall it was profitable. What I'm saying is that the charts predict the price. Well, that's not okay. Maybe this is kind of going to go around because we've been showing charts and I've been saying, oh, look, here's an instance where it does, and here's an instance where it doesn't, and things like that. It's really easy to look back at a chart and say it did something and the chart predicted it. It's a very different thing to say, here I see a signal and I'm going to follow it. And you follow that signal over the course of a year and you've taken 20 to 100 trades off of it. And you're profitable. Yeah. And in order to convince me that what you're talking about is actually profitable, that's what I would need to see. I think he's trying to convince me, guys. Because I'm not convinced that charts on their own are edge. How can I say this? Technical analysis has no edge, but there could be a signal that you could consider technical analysis that might have edge, and you would have to prove it with stats. But like technical analysis as a whole does not necessarily have edge. Like my book here, where'd my book go? This book, The Technical Analysis of Stock Trends, on its own. You traded based off of that, I don't think you'd make money. Even if it was a qualitative thing. You know, if you forward tested it. Because maybe we can't pin down the rules well enough. But if we forward tested it and said, okay, you're trading the E-mini only. I also think you shouldn't limit it to a market, but you can trade the E-mini only for a year off of the daily chart, whatever. Maybe you use puts or whatever. How much money do you make? And you have to have taken 20 to 100 trades. So, I mean, catching a black swan event is great, but I don't think that it's a long-term successful strategy to base your trading off of those. If he does convince you, I will convince you back, Seth. Well, no, you have to show me a chart. Like, you have to show me stats. Yeah. It was this time, maybe. That doesn't mean that it's going to be next time. It's an odd tick up. But that's one instance. We'll see. I play earnings based on the charts too. Yeah, you can sometimes do that. I used to do that on paper with options, and I didn't take it too far, but I had some mild success with it. But my recollection was that I stopped doing it because the simulator did not give me enough information to tell me if I would have been able to carry out those trades in real life. So I didn't do it. But I did kind of do the same thing. I was looking at I had my fundamental view, kind of the same one that I have now of how I look at the economy, and I would look at the charts of an individual thing, an individual company, and what like Apple. I would play Apple all the time. And based on what the chart and what I knew about it, I would make an options play, and I think that of the 10 times or so that I did it, that I won most of the time. And when I won, it was like a couple $1,000s, and when I lost, it was like just $500. So it was a pretty good risk reward ratio. But I don't think those stats are, excuse me, I didn't think that those stats were reliable, so I stopped doing it. But yeah, I do this because this is the only thing I've found where you could be profitable every day doing this. You could. I think every day that I've done this where I've had a bad loser, I could have been like, yes, but if I had seen that it was this kind of a day and I had treated it like this, then I could have been profitable. So Jeffrey Hamilton, no offense, but I don't think that cryptos is a good place to learn the art of trading. The crypto space is so different from everything else. There's not that much liquidity. It's very much dominated by bots. It doesn't have as professional of a markets, and I just think that if you trade in the crypto space, that you're learning from people that don't really know what you're doing. Whereas if you trade the 10-year Treasury, you're learning from people that are so good at trading that the US government pays them to trade, right? So I think if you want to learn to like pure, like just trading in general, like just as a skill set trading, scalp the 10-year. That's the best way to learn, because you'll get the best experience and you'll get the most attempts. You learn from losing money. Well, yeah, but you learn from winning money too. I feel like that in Bitcoin, it's just kind of like, honestly, there's a lot of people out there in Bitcoin that up until last month thought that they were really great traders, right? How many people? I mean, some of you guys have been here since the beginning, right? How many of you guys remember back when we were like up at like 18, 17, even 15, and people were like, nah, I think it's going to base here and it's just going to go up and make a new high just like it kept doing. And I said, no, it's not. Because I have an edge, a very, very specific edge that says that it's not. And I traded off of it and I did okay. Now, of course, it went back down to the spot where I said it should probably turn around, and it went through it for a day, but that's okay. What do you mean OPM? Oh, if you trade with leverage, it's OPM. Right. I don't know if I agree with that, Jeffrey. People who know how to trade don't trade other people's money. I think that there are a lot of people out there that know how to trade and they just don't have money. and as good of a trader as they have, they don't have nearly as much money as Goldman Sachs does, or the US government, or whoever it is that they're trading for. Granted, there are very, very good traders that are going to be trading their own money for sure, yeah. But guess what? They trade treasuries too. And I'm sure there are some good players in the cryptocurrency market, but I think overall, my experience from looking at the cryptocurrency market is A lot of it is random. And there's a lot of noobs. And a lot of it is just robots taking advantage of noobs. That's why it always goes just one direction. So they're trying to catch everybody. They're trying to catch all the guys that don't really know what's going on. If you want to buy it, they'll sell it against you and then push it the other direction and try and get you to panic sell. And that's how they make money. Yeah, if we can only trade 5K club. I'm trading one contract, right? The traders I was looking at Goldman were trading thousands. Anyways, I have to quit now. So it was a nice chat. We should continue this tomorrow. And of course, hopefully tomorrow I stick with my guns and I'm not so flaky. Yeah. And